Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the MyFootballWriter YouTube channel. And for the first time this season, we've got a win to talk about. And what a win it was. Norwich City absolutely dominant against Coventry City away from home at the Ricoh Arena. It's only their seventh win in their last 25 away games in the Championship. A goal from Borja Sainz had a bit of luck to it. It was a deflected cross. His shot deflected off of Lataboudiere, went in the back of the net. Norwich have won 1-0. We don't care how the goal happened. It's the first win under Johannes Hoff-Torap, and what a performance it was. I'm Freddie Humphrey-Wakefield, and I'm joined by Will Grant. And Will, goodness me, that was rather impressive.
Mate, it felt like I was watching a Dean Smith side roll into a Johannes Hoff-Torap side. One shot, one goal. And as the old man says, I'd rather win 1-0 than 5-0. So that is all we care about today. Gosh, it feels good. I've been banging on the performance drum now for probably about 2 months, it feels. Go back to pre-season as well. So finally, it's good to see that Norwich have got their rewards. Maybe this game should have been a draw, perhaps. Maybe that's fair, like a 0-0 draw. But I think if you were to ask me how much point do Norwich deserve over this month, I would probably say 5.
Yeah, no, I think that is fair. I think Norwich, of course, a decent start to life in the Championship under Torap, albeit, of course, 2 draws, a loss, but now a win, and a big win against tough opposition. You know, me and you did the match preview video for this game, and we were concerned about this. We were worried about the Coventry's quality going forward, especially on the right-hand side with Sakamoto and Van Uwijk, who Sakamoto did end up going off because he got clattered by Doyle at the end of the first half. But I do feel as if, just touching on that first half, down the right side, Norwich did allow Coventry so much room. They really did. It looked worrying at times, but the second half, that seemed to flip, and Stacey had about 20 yards of space around him whenever he got the ball. Just Norwich control from about minute 25 to around about minute 75. Norwich just controlled that game, set the pace, were brilliant in possession. They were superb, got the goal, and maybe could have tried to get a second, which they did go for. I feel as if under David Wagner, maybe Norwich would have sat back a bit more and just absorbed pressure, and then maybe would have ended up drawing or losing the game. But a fantastic win. We're 13 unbeaten now against Coventry. We haven't lost away there since, 2008? And, this is a team who, in our pre-season prediction table, we had really high up the table. And anyone who saw on Twitter our score predictions, none of us had Norwich to win. So that shows how much we know. But Norwich they nullified quite a lot of threats, and they were just phenomenal. Just second half, especially the introductions of Oscar Sfartau and Anis Slimane, they were super. Everyone was. I can't, apart from maybe the 2 who went off at half time, Sienats and Forson, everyone was bloody brilliant. They were absolutely superb. But from a defensive point of view, I've not seen Norwich look that strong defensively in ages. Just brilliant. Just so good. Doyle and Duffy, brilliant. I'm running out of words to describe the performance, and we're 5 minutes in. We were just excellent, just brilliant. But that second half especially, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Will, because that was just so composed. It was brilliant. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. Do leave comments below here on YouTube. We did try to go live on Twitter as well, but turns out you need to have a premium account or something to do that. So,
Elon.
not fair, Elon. But to anyone who's watching, if you want to share any thoughts, put them in the comments below. We'll share them. We'll talk about them because we want to value your opinions just as much as our own here on this live stream. But Will, second half, phenomenal from Torap's lads.
Yes, mate, definitely. I think we started the half brilliantly, and I think the key word which comes back to me for the second half performance was intent. I think that intent was displayed before the half started when he brought on 2 substitutes. Oscar Schwartau obviously being one of them, and Samani as well. So 2 new signers come on, and although I thought they played well, absolutely, I don't think they were the main reason why we won the game. But what they did do is like they brought intent to the team and they made Norwich just so much more crisper in possession. And it feels like now I've always been banging on the drum recently about Norwich performing well in about 10 10-minute, 20-minute periods. And it kind of felt like that in the first half actually as well. It felt like towards the second kind of chunk of the first half, Norwich grew into the game for me, absolutely. But the passing in the final third was just so poor, in my personal opinion. But then I think if you were to compare that to the second half start, absolutely night and day. So much better combination play and just better accuracy as well. Go into those forward channels. And I remember saying to you, Freddie, during our preview that I wasn't overly convinced about Joe Latvier and Louis Binks, and I think that proved to be the case today. They just looked so like nervy against Sargent, I felt, and then that gave Norwich a platform to kind of build around that. I thought Sargent was great today. He won't get all the headlines, but definitely a player that like held the ball up nicely for us to really, really try and progress up the pitch. But yeah, a much better second half, and there was actually many times during the second half where I was crying on my TV, just get it forward, just get it forwards. Then I realised the game situation, look, 1-0 down, let's just try and re-establish control again. So overall, mate, I'm so happy because I feel like we're playing Coventry at a very good time. They've always been quite slow starters historically, and maybe we should have maybe thought about that in a match preview to make ourselves look even smarter. But obviously that wasn't the case, and we all look like idiots now after what we predicted. But so be it. I'd much rather be wrong and Norwich play brilliantly, and that was the case today. Just so controlled that second half, and it doesn't feel like to me that Coventry had like an answer to how to try and counteract our dominance. It was just pure dominance from start to finish. And one player for me, Freddie, who epitomised that was Marcelino Nunes today. I know I was quite critical of him against Blackburn in terms that I thought he should have showcased for the ball more often, but today he was superb. He was always making himself available, and the amount of times he was finding Stacey on the right flank, absolutely superb performance from him today. Albeit I felt Stacey's first half shown was good in terms of like getting into the box. It's that final ball with Stacey in the first half, but second half, fair play to him. He contributed and he did really, really well. I was actually saying to myself at half time, maybe do we bring Kenneth Fisher here for a bit of quality? But look, I proved to be wrong again on that. But yeah, I'm absolutely gassed with this result, mate. I think it's a huge result and statement result as well, because it feels like this week was a very tough week. Obviously, Palace away, it's going to be hard. There's so much quality, but I felt if Norwich could either win against Coventry or Palace, it'd be a statement win for Torup. And it already felt like before this game, no matter what the result, the fans were on board. But it feels like today even more so. It's a huge statement win right now, and right now I'm just so gutted that the international break is coming now, because it feels like Norwich are getting into a very, very good rhythm, and I feel like a game against Swansea coming up, it could have been there for the taking. But that's football. We'll play them 2 weeks later and hopefully get a similar result. But yeah, there's so much things to like, Freddie. Do you think Nunes was one of your most preferred players in terms of how you felt he performed today, or do you think there was other standouts?
As I said earlier, standouts for me were everyone. Everyone was absolutely phenomenal. And we have our first thought here from Callum. Thank you for watching and sharing, my friend. Coventry was so poor. You should have won by at least more than one deflected goal. You see, in a way, I'm on the fence with that. I don't think Coventry were that bad. They created more opportunities and were unlucky not to score. Ellis Sims had 3 really good chances, I thought. And Norwich, that was their only shot on target. You know, we did create chances, but only really half chances. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. They weren't clear cut. I think, if you look at the statistics of the game, I would be surprised if it had Norwich having a chance to find as a clear cut one. But no, I wouldn't say Coventry were overly bad. They are a good side. They looked it. They're going to cause a lot of team issues. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, no, exactly, yeah. But to answer your question, really, Will, I think standouts for me, I can't give it to one specific player. I think that's really hard to give it to one player because everyone, apart from, phenomenal. Everyone was absolutely brilliant. If I had to give man of the match to someone, I'd probably give it to Jack Stacey. I just thought down the right side, he was flying. He was just superb. He was absolutely brilliant. Shane Duffy was brilliant. Doyle, again, mustard. He's a Rolls Royce. He shouldn't be playing in the Championship. He's bloody phenomenal. And then just everyone was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But I can't give standouts because I feel as if it would be unfair on everyone else because they were all brilliant.
But that's boring, Freddie. I want standouts.
No. All right, fine. If you want proper standouts, I'll give you Stacey, Duffy, Doyle, Slimane, and Svartal. I'll give you 5.
To be fair, on my bit of notes here, I have picked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pretty similar as well, mate. So we're all doing really well in that department. But yeah, it just felt like for me during the game, it felt like another one of those games where, especially the first half, where I thought, oh gosh, after Norwich got the dominant spell, I thought, is it going to be the same again? Where like we don't score when we're on top, and it could potentially go back to bite us. But no, luckily not today. About Coventry being poor, yeah, I don't think they were great today by any means. It just felt like to me they actually lacked the solutions to try and caveat Norwich's control. It just felt like Norwich had like one game plan throughout the whole game, and they couldn't really figure out how to combat it. And Norwich just kept on playing nice progressive passes and kind of safe passes, well, just to establish control. And especially when you're going away from home against Coventry. And I wasn't there today, so I can't comment on the atmosphere too much. But let's just say I think I've heard Coventry louder anyway. So that the fans that anyway. So let's just say I think that's another tick in the box for Norwich. I just thought going to quite a tough, intense crowd as well, we'd be up against it. But luckily not. I do see Coventry picking up points across the end of the season as well. I think it's a perfect time to play them. And look, if Norwich do get in a playoff push, oh my God, now I'm getting too ahead of myself. If we do get in a playoff push, then I think playing Coventry right now is superb for Norwich. So that's all well and good. If I could as well, Freddie, Kenny McLean today. I feel like Kenny has been a bit overshadowed recently in terms of a lot of importance has actually been placed on Martin Nunes to be that productive and creative spark for Norwich in midfield. But actually today, I thought Kenny McLean played quite a big role for the team overall. I thought in the first half, he released the ball brilliantly at the right time. And he wasn't looking to rush a play at all. He was just looking to try and play the ball when the team were in a much better settled possession-based structure. And I think that was absolutely superb today. But even towards the end of the game as well, I don't know if you saw Freddie as well, but during the second half of the game, I think Sargent went down with like an injury towards like the 80th minute, and Sargent wants to get back up again, and Kenny McLean's telling him, Josh, just sit back down again. You know what I mean? Just a bit of gamesmanship in there as well. So I thought Kenny was great today, and I think he was a key reason why I won the game as well. So I like what I see from Kenny today. More of the same, please, Kenny. But yeah, that midfield today was brilliant, and it's quite actually surprising, actually, with all be saying their praise, it really helped me as well, mate, about Michael Forson being our key spark and being the one that's going to link us between defence and attack. But actually today, I think it was a main problem why we were so sluggish in the attacking third of the pitch. I just felt Cernach and Forson couldn't get into the game. And when they had the ball, they just give it away all the time. So, but that's good to see as well how we could bring on the likes of Slimane and Shorthow, and they can impact us in a different manner. What did you think of Forson and Cernach today, Freddie? Similar thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think this is the first game I've watched Forson. Of course, against Palace, he only played for a matter of minutes, dislocated his shoulder. I do think he might have been rushed back in, but as I've said earlier, if he was available, you'd probably play him because of how well he has played over his course of his short tenure as a Norwich player. But just any time he seemed to have the ball today, he lost it. And it was really annoying to see because we know how good he is and how good he can be. But just felt like today he was a bit off the pace. I think the whole first half, Norwich were off it a little bit, really. put together some really nice passages of play, but the final pass, just that little bit in the final third, some sloppy bits of possession, just loose passes, but they started growing into it and they looked more controlled. I do think that Forson should have probably gone off at half time. He was having a poor game. He wasn't at his best. Sienats, again, I think it's going to take time for him. There's evidently a player there. It's tough coming from the Polish league, and it's a whole other kettle of fish, the Championship. It is a lot harder. That's no disrespect to the Polish league, but we also signed Placheta from that league, and look how he ended up. And he was a pretty good player in the Polish league. So I think it will take time for Sienats to adapt. There's a player in there, there's no question. I think he definitely can go on and crack on and be a very effective player for Norwich in this system, but just don't think, again, he was on it, really. But again, he's in a new country, in a new league, in a new system. It's going to take time for him, there's no doubt. But I think it was right taking them off. In terms of the substitutes, weird really to see Svartau, who's an attacking midfielder, play more as a winger, but I thought brilliant again, was great against Palace when he came on, looked sharp, came on today, looked sharp. He was phenomenal. And then as well, I think just Slimane, so good. Really, really good in possession. I think he needs to work on his passing game a little bit. There was a few sloppy ones here and there, but that doesn't reflect his performance. I mean, Sheffield United fans and Chris Wilder for saying that he wasn't a good player and he couldn't get in the team. Based off what I saw from him in 50 minutes of football, how was he not getting in your team? He was phenomenal. I mean, I'm probably getting carried away and he's going to end up being a bit dross now, but that was so encouraging from him. He's only just joined the club yesterday and he looked like he'd been here for years. He got straight in, stuck in, knew what his job was and was brilliant. I could be getting away and really carried away with myself here, but just great. Really, really good. The substitutes were great and well-timed. Bringing on Gibbs and Cordoba and Hernandez was odd at times. I thought bringing on Gibbs for Nunez was an odd one because I felt as if he was really controlling the game, but maybe he was a bit too tired and he needed to come off. And then Gibbs offers, someone who can just run around and be a bit of a nuisance. Onel coming on was probably just Borja went down and felt a bit of cramp, so it made sense to take him off. And then Cordoba coming on made sense just to see out the game, have another big, strong presence at the back. So substitutes spot on, I felt, and they all knew what their role was. And albeit I don't think Onel actually touched the ball once, but no, they all knew their job and they all executed it well. After going off on a bit of a tangent, to properly answer your question, yeah, I've got similar thoughts about seeing that some Forson as to what you were saying.
Yeah. Do you know what? Oscar Schwartau was actually on one of my lists for players that actually impressed me today. I think he's such an interesting profile of player we've got here. Although I think in the 80th minute, when he was in the box, I was pinning him just to shoot but maybe that was because the Sky Sports Plus camera angle was not in great shape today. But anyway, yeah, I really like of Oscar Schwartau, really. And it feels like he's a player who's got absolute great first touch as well. I think when you've got a profile of player in Forson who was quite busy and he tries and showcases his movement to try and get around the pitch. And then when you also have the likes of Schwartau, who is more technical and he's got a better first touch and he's got much better dribbling qualities and he's great at carrying the ball. I think it's great how you could just either start one of them and put one on the bench as well, depending on the type of game which you actually are playing against. So that's my thought perspective on that. I think Schwartau and Forson for me actually now, I think they'll probably get rotated quite a lot across the season. Maybe one might start one week, maybe the other might start the other. But despite it only being one game and Forson having a superb game, I do just think with Amankwa, he's still going to be a key player for us. He's showcased in the last previous games that he could be a huge player, and I'm all for that, really. He's still trying to find his way in the game as well, so that's still quite an encouraging thing to kind of get excited about. But Oscar Schwartau, I was very impressed with his movements today as well. And I think that is when you have a player who is so good at moving around the pitch and stretching defences as well. it just gives you a more control in the game as well, actually, because it gives you more space to play into Schwartau. And I just think he's great, and his off the ball movements are really good as well, and yeah, a great first touch as well. So it could be quite a key player for us actually now, thinking off the bench as well. And I'm seeing a player there who was very, very unselfish as well. He's always trying to find the right pass for his teammates other than shooting, it feels like as well. So that's interesting. But if he shot more, maybe we could have more goal scorers amongst the team. But yeah, again, Freddie, it's a double duo, isn't it? Again, of Sargent and Sainz scoring us goals. Worrying, concerning. I mean, it's great, obviously, that they scored and got us a winning goal. Absolutely superb. Don't get me wrong, but it's still those two, isn't it? And were you a bit disappointed with our deadline day kind of activeness in some ways? Would you want like another winger instead of Cade Gordon? And actually, on Cade Gordon, what do you think of signing of Cade Gordon as well? I'm going to try and throw like two or three at you there. Go for it. Stage is yours.
Yeah, well, I think, of course, it's great that we've won the game and Sainz has scored. Yeah, and of course, it is. You could argue it is concerning that it is both him and Sargent who are the only two players to score for Norwich yet this season. But let's just touch on this point first here from Gaffs de Legrand. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Norwich outplayed Coventry today, moved the ball around really well. Coventry were dire. It doesn't bode well for us. I can't really disagree with it. I think, albeit Coventry statistically, of course, had more efforts on goal, more on target, had the better clear-cut chances, but just Norwich seemed to really dull down and nullify them by just, as you've said there, by moving the ball around really well. Just kept possession so tidy, knocked it about, and were able to play out of the press. I don't think Coventry were dire. Maybe it's because whenever at times when they got the ball in the second half, it was straight back with a Norwich player within seconds. I wouldn't say that it doesn't bode well for Coventry. I still think they're going to be up there because they're a very talented side with talented individuals and a very good manager in Mark Robbins. But if that's it, well, if a team comes to Coventry and wants to play a similar way to Norwich, it could be a good learning curve for them. But again, maybe it doesn't bode well because they were outplayed in some elements. But going back to your questions, Will, after touching on that, only Sainz and Sargent scoring for us, it is a concern, really. Only two players have scored Norwich City's 4 goals this season. They've got 2 each. Brilliant that they're scoring goals and we're getting results now. But you do want more goal scorers in the team because, of course, if you take either one of them out and you lose a goal scorer, you do wonder maybe where the goals are going to come from for Norwich. It is a cause for concern, you could argue, but I still think players will eventually pop up. It is going to take time for everyone to fully learn the system. And is it that Norwich are mainly going to just have their forwards score all their goals, or are players going to start popping up and create midfielders get into better positions to score them? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. In terms of deadline day activity, I'm not overly disappointed. We got done what we wanted to do. But I think we got the midfielder that we wanted. We got the winger that we needed. We sold Kamara. Thank you again, Gavster. Good luck for the rest of the season. You too. I hope Coventry are up there. They deserve to be. Hopefully we're up there with you come the end of the season. But yeah, I was happy with what we did on deadline day. Slimane we knew was going to happen. And from what we saw, looks a good addition. Norwich had a lot more physicality in their midfield when he was introduced. Signing a Cade Gordon, I like the look of a player who's played a few games for Liverpool, has scored for them. Youngest Liverpool player to score in the FA Cup, I believe. Looks a good player. In his post-match interview, Torup described him as a bit of a dribbler on the wing. So I don't mind that. We could use a bit of a tricky player out wide. We don't know how many games he'll play, and maybe he ends up being a bit more of an impact player to bring on off the bench. But I do like that signing. He fits the profile of what Napa and Torup are going for. A really young player who's got bags of potential, has already got a few first-team games for Liverpool and Derby before he joined them. The only concern I have for him is he's had quite a bit of injury issues over the last few seasons, but hopefully that can be something that is reduced a bit. But no, I like the signing. And I think on deadline day, Norwich did what they had to do. A lot of development signings, which I'm sure you can talk away for a little bit. And some of them look really impressive, especially the signing of Billy Gee from Chelsea, their youth captain, for £200,000. That looks a great bit of business. But I'll throw those questions back to you, Will. What do you think of the signing of Cade Gordon, and what did you make of Norwich's deadline day incomings?
I can't lie, mate. I know I'm a huge youth enthusiast, but I was skeptical a little bit. I think the injury record, I think, is the reason why I am a little bit, if that makes sense. But then again, it's so hard to try and get deals done on deadline day for like permanently, isn't it? Because there's so much like little time to work with, isn't there? So hopefully he can provide some really good moments for a team, and he could try and boost his career up in the future, really. Whilst you were exclaiming a final monologue, Freddie, I was just looking at Mark Robinson's press conference, and he was saying that he wasn't too happy about the way that Norwich targeted Sakamoto again, and apparently now he's in a protective boot. So obviously it feels like we've got some Coventry fans that are watching now, and that is brilliant. I don't know what everyone thought of that. I didn't kind of notice it too much in the game, but maybe that's because I'm more trying to focus on our tactical and our technical things we did well across the game today. But Callum Doyle, I'm sorry. Again, we got to speak about him, mate. I'm sorry, but wow, what a player. I think throughout the game today, what I liked about him was his defensive qualities, but towards the end of the game, mate, he was playing some outrageous passes into tight areas of the pitch. Like, I think towards the back end of the game, he found Samani or Nunes or McLean actually in central areas of the pitch, and it was like people actually like blocking the passing lanes, but he gets out of his foot so quickly and then fires it in there. It's just superb. His accuracy is superb, and in such little time as well. So assured, and it just felt like I was just happy to watch him, mate. I think a common stereotype actually of a JH team is all about possession-based football, wanted to try and play on the ball and showcase our qualities and be very, very effective in the middle third of the pitch and try and create chances. But today, it felt like, I'll go back to what I said earlier in my first sentence of the live stream. It felt like a proper resolute performance as well today. Absolutely. I mean, there's a more dangerous word to say on this live stream, but I won't repeat it. But definitely a very, very good performance. Yes, absolutely NCFC one. I couldn't agree more. But anyway, hopefully Mark Robbins is still going well and have a good rest of the season. But I was just so happy with the way we actually fought in today, and I didn't think our first win of the season would be a wonder win like away from home. But Freddie, hey, football, man, it just throws you like crazy things and crazy results here and there as well. And yet again today, it was another game where Norwich conceded an XG fewer than one as well. 0.98 is for Coventry today. Albeit that was significantly higher compared to our 0.35 during the game. I think yet again it just shows that like the outer of the ball shapes are working really, really nicely right now, and the fact that we haven't conceded an XG below one yet this season is so far brilliant. Sorry. So yeah, albeit that could change next week, but yeah, I'm just really encouraged right now with the way we're actually playing defensively as well, because they are very, very good numbers, mate. Superb numbers as well. So hopefully more of the same as well. And it even demonstrated here as well. Norwich won the most aerial duels today as well. So I think that just shows that Norwich had to find a new way to win as well. And I thought Duffy and Doyle were key pillars to that as well. Freddie, Callum Doyle, any more words to add?
If I did, I'd probably get the channel banned.
Yes, mate. Go for it.
Honestly, we're going to be doing this every week. This kid is unbelievably good at football. He is so good. I mean, I'm pretty sure I said this either on the last podcast we did or the last live stream we did. Sorry, he is, in my opinion, I know I've watched very little of him. He is Manchester City's answer if John Stones leaves. He is
Let's go.
absolutely phenomenal.
He's
Just
back again for a second week of that opinion. Let's go, Freddie. Go for
yeah,
it.
no, honestly, like he should not be playing in the Championship. I said this earlier. He should not. He just today, of course, he was on loan at Coventry, so maybe that helped, and he knew the patterns of play Robbins was going to utilise, and he knows the threats of the opposition players like Sakamoto, like Haji Wright. Him and Haji Wright had a bit of a scuffle at a point in the game, and Doyle ended up getting the better of it in the end. But no, he's brilliant. He's so good. What a brilliant bit of business to get him on loan. I'm amazed he's even done a Championship loan move. I would have thought maybe Leicester would have been nailed on for him to go back for another year in the Premier League and really test himself. But he is excellent. He's a big factor in what you said there about himself and Duffy and why Norwich are yet to give up an XG of 1 yet in a game. Just I was saying it with the person I watched it with earlier today. Duffy today, I can't believe. Am I watching the same Shane Duffy I was last season? This guy, he looks phenomenal on the ball. I couldn't believe it. There was one pass he did in the second half, just a daisy cutter, about 40 yards up the pitch. I couldn't believe it, what I was watching from Norwich. Just especially Duffy, just again superb. But Callum Doyle, I'm going to sound like a broken record anytime I speak about this boy. I mean, I'm younger than him, and he's the one that I wish I was him. I wish I was living his life, because phenomenal player, and he looks like he's going to be a key figurehead for Norwich this season. Absolutely great player. Really is could be the future to maybe England's defence, but I could be getting far too hyped on him. But Manchester City have got a really good player on their hands if he does end up playing for them in the near future. 20 years old, over 100 appearances at EFL level, and he's just brilliant. Just really, really tidy player. I really like the look of him. They say don't fall in love with a lone player. I'm long beyond that stage. I mean, I want this guy. I want to put a ring on this man's finger. He is just absolutely superb. But yeah, going on to the other defenders, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Duffy, and maybe anyone else's thoughts who's here in the live stream. Do feel free to share any thoughts in the comments section. Shane Duffy today. I know you've been saying it over the last few weeks that he actually looks a lot more comfortable on the ball and a good ball-playing defender that maybe Norwich fans didn't expect to see. But today I thought did everything, almost everything right. He just was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think the thing with Duffy is, and what I'm content to say about him as well, is that I don't think he's that progressive passer through the lines where he can try and find really, really cute angles of space. For me with Duffy, it's all about how quickly can like move the ball to Doyle and Nunes, the better playmakers and the more able playmakers as well. So very, very impressed with Duffy again. I thought he had some nice moments, although there was a stage when Norwich was so in control of that second half. I think it was probably towards the 70th minute, and I think he plays the most like fast-paced pass back in field to midfield, and Coventry almost countered, but luckily I think he went out for a corner in the end. So that was all well and good. So definitely a good performance from Duffy, and he's taken steps forward as well. I was actually interested to see as well that Grant Haney wasn't in the start in the whole squad today. I've been told that's probably injury related as well, so we'll see about how that works out. Maybe actually it's a blessing in disguise, because we might get to see more Brad Hills feature on the bench, and he's a player that everyone on it feels like, especially on the MFW loves. So including myself as well. So that's great to hear, really. I do want to talk about Ben Crescenny as well, actually, because I think what I'm gathering from Ben Crescenny is he won't be the most productive on the ball, but he's a very, very good athletic outlet in terms of winning physical duels and just killing the momentum of the game for the opposition. That's what I'm getting about Crescenny. If you guys agree with that, or you think that Crescenny is more of a dynamic wide left back, then please let me know or let us know as well. And definitely just want to say, Crescenny, I think there's really, really good potential in there. He showcased some really, really good moments of him being a very, very capable fullback at this level. Albeit, I think against Sheffield United, he did look a bit shaky against Andre Brooks, and then maybe the one-on-one threat is still there. But I think to be fair to him, we said pre-game, didn't we, mate? That it's going to be a key battle between Van Uwijk and Sakamoto, but I felt fair play to Sainz and Crescene. They locked that left flank down brilliantly, and I was quite surprised. I thought Milan Van Uwijk would be a bit more attacking minded throughout the game, but it felt like he was a bit more deeper, which I think actually helped Norwich as well. So very interested to see that. But I think although I'm so happy about today, I still have like an annoying feeling that I wish we could have carried on playing next week now, because it feels like we're in a really good shape right now and playing really well. But JHT was questioned this by the Pink Boys, I think, in his press conference, and he says no. I want more training time. So that's quite an interesting thing to say. Albeit, I still think there's still some tactical and things to address. I think this league is all about momentum, and going away to Coventry and getting such a big and pivotal result is so promising. Excuse me. If I'm Norwich, I want to be playing every week now after playing so well against Coventry. What do you guys think? Do you think it's the right time to have an international break, or do you think it's come at quite a bad time for us? I think it might have, but let's see how we do against Swansea, because I do feel like I said to you actually pre-game as well, and across the previous weeks. I think the games against Swansea, Watford, I think there's Derby and Leeds in there. Maybe exclude Leeds, but I think you've got 3 games there, especially Swansea, Watford, and Derby, where you could pick up more points there. Absolutely. I know Watford have started brilliantly, and fair play to them. And yes, they will cause us problems. Absolutely, they've got absolute powerhouses in midfield, and it's going to be very hard to try and stretch them and make them foil. But definitely, I think there is definitely some teams to really get up there. I like Swansea and the way they play as well. That's going to be a very, very interesting game. That 2 teams want to play forwards and want to be progressive ball on the floor as well. So very, very excited to see how that game goes. But I don't know if any of you guys are going to Swansea, but I wish you the best of luck. I hate going to Wales away days. They are so drag, especially on the coach as well. So fair play if any of you are going. But Freddie, do you think our next 3 games could be a chance for more points, or do you think it's still going to be quite hard for us to try and pick up some points here and there?
No, I think I agree with you. I think this is a massive chance to get more points. We've just beaten and we played Coventry off the park in the second half, especially. I think we were phenomenal. This is the perfect result to build confidence and make it a turning point. This is exactly what Norwich needed. As you said, they needed a statement win, and they have got it. This is a fantastic result, which they need to use to properly crack on over the next coming few weeks. Yes, it's very annoying there's an international break now, because it looks like we're starting to work through the gears and we're looking good. Of course, you want matches to be able to test yourself the best way, but yeah, we have to have international breaks. And if Torup is happy that there's more training time, so be it. If he believes that is what's best for him and his side, then we'll use it. Of course, we'll have quite a few players missing from internationals, so who won't be in training instantly. McLean, Gunn won't be there. I'm unsure as to who else is going out on international duty at the moment. That will be revealed soon. But it is unfortunate. But the games afterwards, I mean, Swansea away, of course, long old journey for fans and players. It's going to be a schlep for them, but that's a game where we've got to be getting points. I know we've not had a very good record against Swansea over the last few seasons, but you've got to be winning that game on paper. You've got to be. Watford have been phenomenal at the start of the season. Watford have been very good. There's no hiding that. They have got some very talented players and a strong midfield. That will be an interesting battle as to see how Norwich cope with that physicality. But that will be a tough game. That will be a hard one. But it's at Carrow Road, and the fans are going to be up for it. So I think we could maybe sneak it. And then, sorry, who was the last game after that? Derby,
mate.
Yeah, you got to beat Derby. I will
say, mate, Derby are winning right now at home to Bristol City, and they beat Borough at home, so maybe they could be a good home side. But put it this way, Derby's stats against Borough didn't look too healthy, so maybe again it's another chance for us to try and insert a dominance on that. I'm quite surprised that you think you expect us to go to Swansea and win. I think other compatriots of MFW like Jack and Hemi would agree with you, but in my predictions, I did put Swansea 10th, so we'll see how that goes. His face is brilliant. I've got a reason why that is. It's just I'm a huge Luke Williams fan, and I think he can really get their foreign signings really playing well, and Matt Grimes is a quality operator as well. I really like Swansea as a team, and I think they'll do well under Luke Williams. And it might be well against us, but let's not. Well, actually, Freddie, the way I've been speaking of opposition recently, especially Coventry, I said, "Oh, they are absolutely fantastic, superb," and we go there and get a clean sheet. So maybe I'm doing us all a favour, but I think maybe I take a point away at Swansea. As long as you don't lose your home game, your away games drastically. This stage of the season, it's all about performances for me. Norwich went to the best team in the league. Well, no, actually, not the best team in the league, but one of the best teams in the league, I think, probably in the coming months to come. So definitely, you just can't really moan right now, can you? Really? Maybe there's still a few fans which are a bit annoyed about our transfer window and how we kind of left it a bit too late. If you're one of those guys or women, sorry, that were a bit annoyed by our transfer business towards deadline day, please let us know, actually, because me and Freddie are so conflicted about it. I still don't know whether I'm happy or not with it. I think me being a youth supporter, seeing Gabe Forsyth in these squad depth charts, which people are putting on Twitter, it's making me smile, so I can't complain too much as well. It's been a very, very, very encouraging game overall for us, and I'm just really happy to see how we're going to go into the game with Swansea. Really looking forward to see how we go about it as well. And who knows, maybe Kate Gordon might play as well. And that could be quite an interesting story to see when he's used. Do you see, Freddie, Kate Gordon being above Fasak in a pecking order? Do you think it might be like second in the pecking order? Do you think it'll probably be Cernach, Gordon, Forsyth, and Fastnacht? Or how do you kind of see like the status in that right wing role?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I do think it would be silly to bring in Kate Gordon on loan from a big club as the replacement for Kamara. So again, it is a depth player, really. He's not going to start many games unless Torup really gets fed up of seeing that and just doesn't think it's going to work for him. Maybe he then may move Borja to right wing, but Gordon is he is a natural right winger, so it would make sense to play him there. I do think he is probably second or third option in the pecking order. Maybe he's just below Forsyth, who's already played quite a few games. Maybe he's a little bit above because a loan signing is going to want to play more games and do well for themselves in the Championship and test themselves in what is a difficult league and against, well, to use the cliche, in men's football, playing a proper game. So I think I'd argue maybe he is second or third in the pecking order. I would say he's above Fastnacht, barely played in pre-season. He's out injured at the minute. I don't really see much of a future for him in this setup. Of course, transfer window is done now, so he can't leave, but he only didn't leave because he's been injured. On his day, he can be a really useful player for Norwich. Did pop up with quite a few important goals last season at big times, but I just don't think he's got much of a future in the system. I don't think he is much of a winger. I don't think that suits his frame or play style much. But yeah, I would argue Gordon is higher up in the pecking order, and I think Norwich should utilise him quite a bit because he could be a really interesting player who could help us out in quite a few games, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. He always is quite a direct and fast dribbler as well. So maybe I think Norwich probably have bought him as a bench option. I think. Got my loan. Sorry, because obviously, if you look at the way we play, especially as a team, it feels like that right attacking midfielder is a player that kind of like works in the pockets, and it's not really like a one-on-one threat type player. So it'd be interesting to see how Frop uses him. Maybe he might choose him to play on the left. Who knows? But definitely a player who I'm very excited about, albeit I think he could work two ways. Obviously, he could end up being like a Marcus Edwards who played for us. He played a grand total of about 5 minutes for us, or hopefully he could be like Don Huckabee for a season. We will soon see. Hopefully it's the latter. But yeah, we'll just see how it all goes, really. But right now, Freddie, I don't know about you, mate, but I don't think I'm going to change that starting 11 for next week. No, sorry, 2 weeks' time. I think it's settled, and I think especially when you play in such like a complex system as well, you need really good partnerships and combinations in that midfield as well. So if I'm up, I'm keeping the team the same for Swansea. I just think it's healthy to do so, especially after three really good performances and one really, really good result against a top side. How do you kind of see it progressing? And would you keep the same team, or would you want to see maybe, I don't know, Oscar Schwartau be rewarded for his performance today, and maybe Samani in there as well? Who knows? It's going to be a very interesting thing. But would you kind of go for a same team as well, or would you like to change the midfield dynamic up slightly for the weeks ahead?
Well, it's a very interesting one because they always say you should never change a winning team. And even though Norwich didn't win the 2 games prior, with 3 games unbeaten, if you want to put it that way. But no, I think the starting 11, I think Torup has realised what his best 11 is. I think he knows now, and we're seeing it. Maybe you bring in Cordoba for Duffy because, of course, people are always sceptical about him. But having watched him today, I think he might as well be nailed on. He had a really, really good performance and did everything he needed to do really well. Had some massive blocks, tackles, won all his aerial duels, played really comfortable on the ball, which I certainly didn't expect to see from him. But the only change maybe I'd make is I don't know. I know I said earlier you got to give Sienat's time, and it will take him a while to properly learn the English game, and he's still a raw talent. I just don't think he started off very well, and he's not really showcased all that much ability and talent. Again, he's come with a hefty price fee from quite a relatively unknown league. It is harsh maybe to, judge him off of 3 games he's played, but with how good Svartau looked against Palace and how good he looked today, maybe you utilise him on the right side of attack like we saw for the second half, because he can look sharp and he is a very exciting player. He's 18 years old and he looks comfortable.
I like him a lot, mate. I mean, for his age as well. It's like, I'm sorry to butt in, but I think he's adapted to the league really well. He's been a very, very good outlet for the team, isn't he, as well? Bringing the team forward, especially from a physical perspective. He's got quite good running power as well, and yeah, I'm quite happy with how he's doing right now. I think he's one of those players where I see why Torup, etc., sees the potential in him. Absolutely, it's just when is he going to try and score some goals for us? Because it feels like, as I said earlier, it's a Sergeant and Sign show, and it feels like right now, if one of those gets injured, or lo and behold, 2 of them get injured, it could be quite a long season. But I'm sorry to be so negative after a absolutely superb result. But yeah, I'm really liking Oscar Schwartau. I think he's got so much qualities. And when you think about it as well, he's got like I say, majors like a second year scholar at academy level. He's 18. It's crazy to see how he's doing so well when you kind of watch other kind of players like about the business as well. So the fact he's doing it so well at a young age, it gets me really, really excited for him. I don't know if next week it'll be started. Our best mate is Cohen in the chat.
He's back. He's back. Dino's back, and he loves it. Good to see you again, my friend. It's great to have you back. Predict we would win at Coventry.
You did, yes.
You did also predict we win at Palace, though. I'll give him. To be fair, I think he said we might win one or the other, from what I remember. But
go on, Chris.
No, maybe we should let him do this every week, because if he's predicting we're winning at Coventry, he can do it if he really wants.
He went 2-0, didn't he? I think he went 2-0 with Sargent to score.
He did. I think he said Sargent to score both, so he didn't get the score. He was close. You could argue he was close.
There, but absolutely brilliant to see the main man back in the YouTube chat. It's always great to see all of your comments, and even some commentary comments as well. I don't know how YouTube worked that out in the algorithms, but so be it. We'll have a drink to that later, Freddie.
Yeah, no, it could well have done. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for anyone to be watching and contributing. It's always very good to see. But going just back to your point about the starting team and what would I change? Yeah, the only change I'd really go off is I would bring in. He's put in a prediction. I have to stop. I've got to show. Cryptid Dino reckons 3-1 away win at Swansea. Do I back it? Of course, I bloody back it. We've just won away at Coventry. Why not? It's the thing. It feels so weird, Will, that the fact that Norwich have, after today, 7 wins in their last 25 away games, but this one it's arguably the best one by far. It just hopefully this is how we end up going on for future away games, because you mentioned it on our preview that you were worried about the atmosphere. Everyone gets up for it for Coventry fans, but watching the game, I didn't think they didn't seem too up for it at times. They were frustrated, but I think that's fair enough because Norwich played a game to really frustrate Coventry and they made it difficult at times. They really did. They played a very good brand of football that was hard for Coventry to even get out their own half for majority of the second half. But yeah, no, just brilliant. But changes for the team for me. It may be harsh on him, but I'd drop Sienat. So I'd bring in Svartau on the right side of attack because he looks sharp. He does. First team debut at 16. He's 18 years old now and he's looking good. I like the look of it. I like the look of all of our signings at the minute. I really do. They are impressive.
And I'll go for Gabe Forsyth on the right, if that's okay, please. I've got to represent my youth players, so and I love Gabe Forsyth. I love watching him play. So if I was to make a change, it would be so natural Gabe Forsyth as well. It's quite worrying, isn't it? How your like £8 million man is probably the favourite to get dropped next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, I'm absolutely shocked that we've won 7 away games in 24 games. I thought it'd be much less. I think the last time I saw Norwich win away is Millwall in 2023. And
God.
The thing is, I wouldn't say I'm a casual away fan where I go to like two or three a season. I go to about like 9 or 10. And the fact that I haven't seen an away win, and of course I missed this one as well. And I'm going to Derby, so that could be quite an interesting one as well. We could lose there as well, especially with their absolutely fine home record at the minute, it seems anyway. So sorry if any of you are planning to go to Derby away because you might see a loss because me and my friends are there. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
The thing is, mate, our last 2 away has been Preston and Coventry away, and I wasn't there for either of them. It makes me so sad. But I'm so glad that I saw that all the fans loving life at the end with the players. It's like you just can't beat a 1-0 win because I feel when you win 1-0, the crowd is like so behind you, just all together fighting for that one result and just hoping it doesn't go in the back of your net. So definitely very happy for all the fans that went today, and hopefully we get to see an away win soon. Well, another one at least. Wow, It feels like we've got through quite a lot there, Freddie, hasn't it?
It really has, mate. No, and it's been great. Well, been great to do it and see so many people watching us and a few people sharing their thoughts. It's always lovely to see. But touching on your away record, maybe you shouldn't show up. Maybe you shouldn't go to Derby instead. Maybe you should just leave it and maybe we'll win. But
if Cryptid Dino was at the game today,
mate, if he was at the game and he's on his way back, he's on Club Cabbage. He's got his phone set up watching us. I'd love it. If Cryptid Dino, if you went to the game today, Cryptid Dino, you can predict every game and go to them from now on, mate. If you're the oracle, you just know what's going to happen. But
Canary Jerry might have to force his way out the building because I think we've got the new Canary Jerry and Cryptid Dino with the oracle.
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah, results wise, we got Cryptid Dino doing the business. No, but yeah, no. So no, it is annoying we have the international break now because we just look so sharp. It's frustrating that Norwich aren't going to play for 2 weeks, but it's just how it works. Yeah, no, and then well, this is pure rural Norfolk in the comments. What's your fur got a dicky bought? No, you see, no, I can't even translate that. The problem, I can't even translate it. Will, you're chuckling away. I'm born and raised in Norfolk. I can't really make out what our mate Gary's trying to say here. So can you be my translator, please?
No, I don't know it either.
There you go. Even Gary's laughing away. Gary, if you could, as much as I love Norfolk dialect, could you please retype it in proper English? Because I'm really sorry. I don't think either of us actually understand what you're going for.
If Jack was here in my place, he would know what I'm talking about right now. Absolutely.
Oh, dearie me. No, God. I bloody love. I love football. I just love it. No, this is
and
brilliant.
Canary Call as well. And Canary.
Yeah, a bit of Canary Call. Yeah, I hope that was good. I might listen back to that and see.
Do you know what? Today it was so positive, and it was so great to see because I listened to that and I came in here with so much positivity, and it feels like right now we're just full of positivity, Freddie, and it feels good, mate. We've all waited so patiently for our first win. It's finally came a month into the season, so that is superb. Oh, apologies as well for the cup game as well against Stevenage because obviously that was included as well. But league win just feels sweet, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it feels so much better. And as we have repetitively said, when it comes at such a difficult ground to play at and against such a good team, you can disregard the fact Norwich hadn't lost in 12 meetings with Coventry before that. They haven't lost away at Coventry since 2008 when they were relegated from the Championship under Glenn Roeder. But just phenomenal to keep that record going. We're a bit of a bogey team for Coventry, you could say. Hopefully we can get a result against them when they come to Carrow Road again. But yeah, just so good. It's against such a good team. And it was the manner in which Norwich did it. Dean Smith 1-0, David Wagner 1-0. This was completely different. This was controlling a game, playing brilliantly. As our mate Gary says here, good stuff. It was good stuff. It was just brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal. And Norwich, only their 7th away win in their last 25 away games in the Championship. But what a win it was. Just so good, so controlled, just brilliant on the ball and off it. Just so good. If that's what football under Torup is going to be, please let it continue and let us go on a good run now because we look sharp and I hope it continues. So hopefully this isn't just a flash in the pan result we get in a mediocre season, but as long as we can see more elements of that play style we saw today, I'm more than happy with that. But that seems an appropriate way to wrap it up, really. It just sums it up brilliantly. Norwich were absolutely brilliant, as our mate Gary says. About time too. Yes, it was. Norwich's first away win since Preston back in April. So finally we've got it. And what a way to do it. Norwich, phenomenal. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Will, have you got any last few comments to say just before we wrap this all up?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. I agree. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you all for watching this live stream here on the MyFootballWriter YouTube channel. I've been Freddie Humphrey Wakefield. He has been the excellent, as always, Will Grant. We look forward to seeing you for the next one of these for Norwich City's next game in the Championship. Gary's got another Norfolk comment. Keep you a Troshenba. I think that does mean keep doing what you're doing. I think I actually know what that one means, Gary. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope to see you tuning in for the next live stream of ours here on the channel or even our next video here on the channel. We'll have a podcast ready for you tomorrow where we'll have Henry and Jack with us to discuss the game and the week just gone by and coming up for Norwich City. As I said, I've been Freddie Humphrey Wakefield. He has been Will Grant. Bye-bye, Gary. Bye-bye, everyone. Goodbye for now. We'll see you in the next one. Norwich have won away from home. Yami.